Hello and welcome everybody. This is your host Learvok, and you are just in time for more Myst 2020/2021, or as I like to usually call it, 20/21, because I just kind of think it's a little clever. Anyway, in the last episode, we finished up the mechanical age, which was the gear over here by the lookout. We got the pages for Sirius and Akinar. Continued to listen to them, and so far they both seem to be kind of telling the same story. You know, each one is they're innocent. I swear, it was the other brother that killed our father. Which, I guess the newish information is like one of them killed Atreus. I think. I mean, we're still a little. Again, we're not sure who to trust, and as we've gone through their little rooms in each of the ages so far, they both kind of seem to have their own problems. But yeah. Either way, that's neither here nor there at the moment. For today, we're going to go through one of these other books. We've already gone through the Mechanical Age. Okay, that's where I forgot you had to do it like that. We've already gone through Stone Ship Age. And since we're going in the order that I go through in the game, or went through my first try, I'll go through Channelwood next. You got a little windmill here. Looks a little bit more beat up than the others. No. Let's look up here real quick. Yeah, they all three look really a little beat up equally. And I've just now realized. I'm gonna check something out here real quick. Okay, open here. Oh yeah. Okay, so wow, that is weird. It forces the mouse to be in the center. Okay, so anyway, we're going to go through the Channelwood age this time. I have called this age Channelwood, and it is a very different world. Though it is exactly how I imagined it, it is still amazing to see it with my own eyes. Water covers this age as far as I can see, except for a small rocky island. As I stated in the previous episodes, I'm not going to go through the entire story here. I'm just going to kind of cherry pick stuff. I'm going to kind of go at a slow enough pace that you can at least pause, read along, unpause, and keep going. So yeah. I'm also going to try to get, some, I'm going to try to look for points of interest to kind of pick up and read. Let's see. So anyway, water covers the stage as far as I can see except for a small rocky island. That literally sounds like both ages we've been to so far. I mean, I guess mechanical is several islands, but still. Elsewhere, there are only trees which grow directly out of the water. A myriad of thin wooden passageways are built just above the water and disappear into the forest. I assume they were built some time ago, for they appear aged. I'm eager to discover more about this land and its people, but I have arrived here late and I must rest. I was awakened this morning by strange noises coming from the pathways, adjacent to the one over which I had slept. So apparently he just slept on the ground. Saw a group of monkey-like people heading in my direction. Did not feel threatened by their presence. Their response to me was one that would have never expected after staring at me for a short time. They fell to their knees and began what appeared some sort of ceremonial worship. As we walked, I began to notice that the waters below me were changing colors. Subtly they would change from deep blue to muddy orange, then from orange to a beautiful clear. So intrigued by the water, I hardly noticed that we had arrived at a ladder. Climbing the ladder led us to their village, which is about 10 meters above the water, and can only be reached by a rope ladder that stretched from the lower path of the village to approximately halfway up the grand trees. Let's see. Alright, here we go. So yeah, they took him to the leader of these people. They took him to their leader. Next to the leader sat a very old human. At least to some extent, he appeared human. His hair, which was only on his face and head, was completely gray, almost white, and hung very long around his frail body. His thin head hung limply by an almost grotesque neck that could not hold its head up to look at me. What a surprise! This creature could speak my language. Shortly thereafter, I was given a bed with some hand lotion that looked to be telling me to go to sleep. I look forward to learning more. I suspected the ancient creature is a human. He is old beyond his own reckoning and seems almost insane. It's almost impossible to understand this old man. His voice is feeble but wild. He has adopted much of the language of the tree dwellers. He himself told me he had not spoken our tongue in ages. He attempted to explain to me the history of this place, as long as my best, air quotes, translation of what he has told me. Let's see. Many years ago, the humans and tree dwellers lived together in this place, which was at the time a vast island. They interacted very little. Humans on the ground, tree dwellers lived a high above the humans. Then they would stop. One day things changed. The rumbling began and grew quickly to unprecedented levels. Soon it became apparent that the entire island was sinking slowly into the ocean around them. Many of the humans died that day, but not before sacrificing themselves in order to stop the sinking of the island. Humans who lived moved into the trees where they gradually died out, maybe because they were unequipped for such an environment, but I'm not sure. I'm especially confused as to know the humans saved the island from completely sinking. In fact, I doubt the accuracy of that part of the story. The island must have stopped on its own. Yet the old man believes in the truth of the story as if he had been there. See if we can get to some more. Here. As I wander throughout the pathways, the creatures watch me, curious to see what I will do next. They are constantly offering me strange objects of affection. I even found food outside the doorway to the room in which I had slept. This is a unique race of beings. I hope to learn their language soon so that I may learn more from them. I have lived on this world for 3 months off and on, and the tree dwellers have shown great hospitality. I'm even beginning to learn bits of their language. I've decided to return home for an extended stay with my loving wife and my sons, and hopefully return with them. However, I am sure Catherine will once again refuse. I think this age would be a wonderful experience for them all. And I at least look forward to how Sirius and Achenar will react to its curious inhabitants. I am leaving tomorrow to check on Osmoian age. supposedly Osmoian age, the Osmian age or Osmoian age is a reference to I think either their first or Science first or second game they made. I think it was their first game they made because I think they made the manholes second. Because like Osmocon or something like that. Yeah. Anyway, I warned the boys not to take advantage of the respect the tree dwellers have for their idea. They seem to understand my warning, and I have faith they will follow it. Yeah. For those of you just listening, he brought his kids with him. I think that should probably be a Oh no, yeah, no, I mentioned. I read it earlier. I'm just not remembering that good. Here for their survival and plan on returning. On. Much to my dismay, upon arriving in Everdunes, I learned that Pran and her people are continuing to be menaced by the chaotic. I fear for their survival and plan on returning to her shortly after checking on Sirius and Achenar here. See Everdunes Journal for more information. There is no Everdunes Journal. That was presumably one of the books that got burned. After watching Sirius and Achenar, I see they're handling things very well, and I think I can put to rest any fears about leaving them in Channelwood again for a little longer. Tree Dwellers seem slightly distressed that I'm leaving, but are happy that Sirius and Achenar are staying behind again. I've been gone for over 3 days, and I've been to many places. I had to tell Sirius and Achenar about Pran's death today. They were visibly shaken, although they only remembered her from their childhood. I've told my son that they will be returning with me in 2 days. They spent the entire night telling me of an adventure they experienced in my absence, and it was rather remarkable. It seems they constructed a boat with the creatures and traveled some ways into the surrounding waters. I enjoy hearing them talk excitedly of their adventures, and it reminded of my own adventures as a child. Here's what I want to get to. I finally understand why the Tree Dwellers have been giving me their many inks and insisting I write with them. Looking through some of my past entries, I see now that the inks have changed from the black I thought they were to various different colors. I've shown some of the creatures in my journal, and they laughed and howled. I did not know they had such a sense of humor. Even now, as I look through this very colorful journal, I cannot help but laugh myself. So yeah, you see the different colored pages. That's on purpose. I thought that was kind of an interesting thing they did. I think I mentioned I've been kind of keeping I've been kind of making my own little Myst book using like the game, like the notes on one page, and then like on some other pages I have some maps drawn out. I have so far a map of Myst, and actually a map of Channelwood, or at least the lower level maps that he's been on, and to kind of emulate the book here a little bit instead of writing. Obviously, I did the picture instead, but I used like different colored ink to do the thing. Like I said, I'll show it off at the end of the Let's Play. We'll be returning tomorrow, so my son's with the creatures for last night here. Let's see. Catherine will also have to help me decide whether they are ready for travel alone. For now, I must give my farewells to the creatures, for I do not know how long it will be until I visit this age again. And then up here we have a drawing. Actually, you might want to take a picture there. We have a drawing of what is presumed to be the tree houses with some kind of like rope bridges. And I believe that's what this is supposed to be, is the upper floors, the upper levels where the tree houses are. We can't go any further. So yeah. So that doesn't really seem to give us any real information, I don't think. And we've kind of looked over that a lot more than we... so yeah. This is... I want to go and say in the... Hold on. That is really loud to my headset. In the original game, you just had to click and hold this down. You didn't have to turn it. Turning it with the... I didn't think that was going to make that noise again. Because I didn't move it. Turning it with the mouse like that is really disorienting, because I'm trying to turn it left, but it like wants to go down or right or something because of and it's weird, and it breaks my brain. And it's not the game's fault. This is I'm gonna turn my volume down a little bit because that was super loud. in my ears. But yeah, so like. Yeah, so like in the original game, you just had to click and hold it down. You didn't have to twist the dial. It's really, and again, it's not every game. It's every game that does something like that with the mouse and keyboard. It confuses the heffle out of me. Okay, so we're looking at the forest. More importantly, what's poking out of it is this very tall-looking tree. It could be the same tree that was on, that's in that little area beside the cabin. That totally isn't an elevator, because, just pretend. Anyway, jot this down. In fact, I'm going to pretend to jot it down too, because I got mine. Okay, 724. Okay. Actually, I want to try to get my book open so I don't have to go flipping through it. Even though I think I said it before, every ounce of my notes is one page front and back. This isn't like, this is, I want to be perfectly clear here, this is not a notebook I'm writing this in. This is like a sketchbook that looks like one of those old-timey books. It's actually, the pages are smaller, and everything fits on a single page front and back. And I'm going to go ahead and do a little bit of minor spoiler. You won't know what I'm talking about if I say it this way, but one of them is a full page just for the one age. But that's the only one that's a full page. Everything else takes up less than a full page. And if I really, really wanted to, I could have made the whole thing probably fit on one page. Yeah, so we have... real quick, before we go in there, you probably already figured out what the puzzle is, because I stared right at it. Obviously, we have the tree here. Got the big, giant, gaping hole there. It's not... So yeah. So obviously, the path, it must be this. It's the only thing we have here that's got 3 digits in it. So we got that. Now, in the original game, you would see in here just a box of matches, and you would use it to light this up. Here, they changed it to an ignite button. There you go, we light the pilot light of this steam pump, and we'll just turn the heat up. Okay, there you go. We're hearing something. Oh! And look at that! The tree's rising! Like an elevator! Okay, so this is going to take us up to the age, right? Wait, hold on. How? Huh. Okay, I guess that wasn't the right way after all. Yeah, you can't walk out. Even in the original game, you can't walk out. So the best way to do it, you have to push this button down, and that kind of lowers it down a little bit. Up until you get to the ground floor, you can't actually go any further. But yeah. So what you want to do, you want that to be high enough so that when you turn the pressure valve off, you can run back and get in the elevator quickly. Now, memory serves, I believe you could actually get higher in the original games. Though that could just be me. Could just be me misremembering and just being like, oh yeah, so... There we go. And now we did that, and it's going to start lowering. Run away, run. Okay. I don't remember it being that fast. Then again, I also don't remember it starting off that low. Now, also, before we go any further, I want to go and just prepare you. So, all this game so far, I've kind of been making gripes at some of the minor changes they made at this game. And they're about to make a change here. And, much to your surprise, it's actually a change I prefer. Turned out we had a little bit longer. So, in the original version of the game, you just had a very small room that just led you straight to the book, and that was about it. It was a small little room, straight to the book. Here, they redesigned and recontextualized this whole area to kind of look more like where we are about to go. Like, you see the panels here, you see these pipes here, which presumably this leads to... Yeah, I think this leads to the cabin. So this is like your clue that this is how you get back up. You can just kind of do that. See that going up. Actually, we're gonna keep that. They're gonna let it go because we're not gonna teleport back to the library soon. But yeah. Yeah, here we are at the linking book, Channelwood. Some very... There you go, fine thoughts. Yeah. So in the next episode, we'll be entering the Channelwood Age. Until then, I'll see you guys later.